You're just like,
hello? Hold on.
wait.
Hold on. Does this work? Like, does this look
Oh my god, you literally look like Farrah Fawcett.
You do.
Does this work okay though? Cause okay, good.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I got a new phone, so like it just takes better quality image than my laptop.
You look great.
You do.
Thanks.
You know, your hair reminds me of, were we just
What?
talking about the judge hair? Like the old time judge hair? How I wish that more people, like that judges still had, like, you know, the wigs with
Like
like
a powdered
the
wig.
white-
Like, you look like fashion parliament.
You look probably a fashion baby.
Should I change my name to like something old?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Lord Gooley.
No,
Gooley.
Gooley, speaking of Lord Gooley, I was just going through your YouTube and I saw the old video that's like Gwen Gooley first skate edit.
Oh God.
I forgot when you were Gwen Gooley.
Yeah, that video is something else. Are you eating Bosco sticks right now or a churro?
What did you? I wish these were Bosco sticks.
What are Bosco sticks? Why? What?
Once again, do the favors, Ghoul.
All right, so once upon a time, Kay, Alyssa, and I were skating together, and I said it. Didn't I say it smells like Bosco sticks?
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, I wish I had Bosco sticks," and we're all like, "What the fuck are Bosco sticks?"
And like, I just thought that everyone knew what those were because when I was in school, we would get them for lunch sometimes, like hot lunches, and they're like breadsticks filled with mozzarella cheese, but like they're frozen. They come like frozen, and they would just like heat them up and give them to kids. But I thought like everyone had them, but I guess it's like a Midwest thing.
Bosco stick.
I feel like I got ripped off by not having those. Like, I'm still mad. Every time I think of Bosco sticks, I'm like, that's fucked up.
Fuck.
I should try to get some and bring them with me all the way on the road trip. They'll be all like soggy by the time they make it, but
saggy. So we don't really have a template yet. This is obviously very, very new for us.
Well, congrats.
But okay, yeah. First of all, welcome to being our first fucking. I know, round of applause, like.
I'm happy to be the first.
Well, you're our first.
Yeah, you're the first, and also I realized after like how it's kind of fucked up that we just put like you first, because then you know when someone does a line at the skate park and it's just like so good, and then you're like, okay, well I can't go.
I'm not skating anymore.
I actually am giving up my roller skates.
I'm not the best speaker, Alyssa, so it's not like I'm gonna have like this phenomenal message to send.
Us either.
Like you show up like that one, like a mega church dude, and you're like, hello everybody, welcome to my episode. No, but I figured it was just like you made sense to be the first person because obviously like we both already know you, so and like I know you well enough to know that you're not gonna say something weird that I like can't.
I mean, you don't know.
Like unexpected kind of weird.
We all get canceled together.
And also I feel like anyone, because we want to focus mostly on like skate park and like aggressive roller skating, even though I don't know if that's like a term that is used.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But we figured that like, I don't know, we love you, we adore you, we want you to be here, and we have questions.
Thanks.
We have questions for you.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay,
so we're gonna just kind of. Sorry, my computer's over here. We're gonna just kind of start with like.
Wait, I'm gonna pause for a second.
Yeah.
When you leaned in, you sound way better because like before, you guys are really quiet.
Really?
There you go. Oh, that's better.
Hold on. Thank you.
You're gonna say like.
Lean in closer. Just you know, giving you free advice for your podcast.
Please do. No, we'll Venmo you for this later.
Thank you. I'll send you my Venmo link.
This is the backdrop because that's pretty much our whole show's budget. So expensive.
I love it though.
Jay was at the fabric shop store, and I was like driving, and she starts FaceTiming me, and I was like, so I answer, and she's like, I'm at the fabric store. What do you think? She shows me like these whatever boring fabrics, and then she like walks down one little aisle, and she's like, oh, this is nice, and it's like this luxurious, like sparkly, ridiculous back shop, and I was like, I can't unsee that. Like that's the one.
The one.
Yeah.
I love
And then
it.
she rang it up and it was like
$130.
Really?
I don't know how fabric works. So he's like, how many yards? And I was like, 4.
Jay was like, what's a yard?
So we now have a. Yeah, well, this show needs to work, is what we're saying.
We must profit off of this show. Okay, sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Okay, so we're just gonna start off with give us a little bit of a breakdown on what your skate setup is right now.
Oh, I wish I had them so I could be like,
Oh, I know. I mean, this isn't live. You can totally go grab them.
and I gotta go on my car.
Oh, they're in your car.
I could. Well, I'll just explain it because I'm
Yeah.
getting a new setup anyway, so
Finally.
it's not gonna be accurate. I know. Okay, so right now I'm on the Jack 1 because there will be a new release coming soon. I have a Kaya plate. I think it's the Shari plate, and I have their medium size trucks, so in between narrow and wide. Yeah, I got grindstone toe stops. That's it. That's all I can think of.
Are your skates still plated like big on the larger
Yeah.
side?
Yeah, so I have a plate that's too long for my skate, so it hangs over the toe.
That is so worth mentioning because I put goalie skates on in San Diego like last year, and I was just like, this is awful. This feels terrible. I was like, how are you doing everything on these skates?
Wait, so is that on purpose or was that because?
So the plate size that's like one lower was like too short. So my skates were short mounted, which means there's too much space in the toe. So it's like easy for you to tip forward and your balance is all messed up. So then I went with the next size bigger and it was too long. So yeah, I just got used to it, honestly. But yeah, I'm about to switch setups in like a month or so. I'm excited to try it out. But I mean, honestly, I like my setup right now. I was surprised because I didn't think I would like it, but it grew on me and it's gotten through like a whole skate part and it's done very well. But I'm ready to try something new. I'm trying the Sure Grip wide trucks with an Avanti plate on the Jack 2.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
You brought up, well, you said it got you through an entire skate park. So let's rewind. And do you want to ask about your current part that you're working on or we're working on? But we wanted to talk about just like your beginnings of skating because you've been around for so long and you've been good for so long that
Debatable.
no, not debatable. We are the jury. We are the ones with powdered wigs. Powdered wigs. Gavels. You've been good for a long time.
Okay.
Where did you start? What are your humble beginnings? Did you ever suck? That's a no.
I was like, where are you going with this? Okay, got it. So I feel like I've told this story so many times, but I used to like hang out with skateboarders in high school. And I was like, you know, what they would call a ramp tramp, but I hate that term because I just wanted to hang out with my friends, but I couldn't skate, so inevitably I just like hung out on the ramps. But anyway, so it was fun hanging out with them, but I was really bad at skateboarding. It just felt like I was never gonna get good enough to like really hang, you know. So one time I got a pair of roller skates from Sports Authority, which is just like a general sports store. They were $40. I remember that. And they were really bad. The wheels like didn't even spin when you'd spin them. They'd be like, They're really bad. So I was trying to skate on those, and I was like just like going down like little baby banks and stuff, and my friends were like, what are you doing? So I quit doing that because they made fun of me. So I was like, I guess this isn't a thing. And this was probably like 2009 or 2010.
Wow.
And I didn't know like anyone who roller skated at all yet. And then when I worked at Hot Topic, because I did do that, fun times. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, this girl brought in a flyer for like a big poster for their roller derby game. It was Windy City Rollers. And I didn't know that roller derby is a thing, so that was like me finding out. And then I watched the movie with it, and that like sealed the deal for me. I was like, yep, I want to do this. But you had to be 18 to play at the time in all the leagues that I like knew about. So I just kind of forgot about it. And then and also with my skateboard friends, this is like why I got into street skating, but they were always filming for like skate parks. And I would like sit in my friend's basement all the time and like watch them edit all their footage and then like rewatch everything they did and like laugh about all the stupid shit that happened. And I was like so jealous of that, and I so badly wanted to like be a part of that. And then I met Marissa Del Santo, who was a girl. She's a pro skateboarder now. I think she's still pro, but anyway, she's like really good, and she's from the same town I'm from, and she would like hang out with us, and that was like me first like realizing that women did skating. And even though she was a skateboarder, I was still like, oh my god, and she was really good. So anyway, that's what made me like really want to get into skating. And then my ex-boyfriend's mom was a newspaper editor, and she like came home one night and was like, oh, you would have loved what I just did. I did an article on this local roller derby team. And I was like, what? So I like looked them up, and they had tryouts like I think it was like 10 days from the date that I discovered them. Wow. And I couldn't skate at all. I was really, 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 really bad. So I made my ex-boyfriend go to the roller rink with me for like 7 days straight in a row, trying to like learn how to skate. And I was like, Bambi on skates. I was super bad. And I tried out for the team, and I was super nervous, but it turned out it was one of those like everybody makes the team kind of thing. And I was still doing it on my Sports Authority skates, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Did you like change the bearings or something, or no?
I didn't do anything to them. I was just like straight out of the box trying to do this.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
But luckily the team was like, you need new skates. So I got new skates like probably after a few weeks of like trying to do roller derby. And then it was like kind of simultaneous. Once I started playing roller derby, I started going to the skate park more with my ex-boyfriend because he was a skateboarder. So I would just like go with him. And I was just like trying to figure out how to like ride down ramps and then like ride backwards on ramps. And I have videos. I should send them to you guys, but I have videos of like when I first started. And it was like, I would literally just like skate really fast, like towards a ramp. And then I would just go. And then I'd be so stoked because I'm like, I was backwards just now. And then my ex would be like, sick. But I was like, that was so fun. And he didn't understand why I was so excited about that. But anyway, and then probably like a year into trying to, maybe not even like 6 months to a year, trying to do that, I found Estro's Bones video. And that was like the first time that I realized that girls were skating at skate parks.
I feel like that is such a common denominator for so many people getting into skate parks.
Yeah.
Which like I didn't know about. I missed the boat on that somehow because I didn't see that like until maybe I had already been skating for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen it because like I knew who Estro was, but I hadn't seen that video. But I feel like I've met so many people who were like, yeah, I was interested because of Whip It, but then I saw the Bones video and I was like, how are you seeing this? Like this was not in my realm at all. So that's so cool though.
I know sometimes I like don't want to say like Whip It got me into roller derby and then Estro's video got me into skate park skating because it just sounds like everyone else's story. But what's crazy is like when I started skating at the skate park, I literally didn't think that it existed. Like I thought I was the first person on earth to do it. And so when I found that video, I was like, what the fuck? Like someone is doing this right now.
So ripped off.
And like they were super good. So I was like, my mind was blown. And then also at the same time, I was like, I'm really bad. Like that just
Yeah.
made you realize like how bad you were. And then I met Bambi from roller derby, and she loves to tell this story because I'm so rude, but I thought she was a bitch when I met her. So we weren't friends right away. I just thought she was like really arrogant, was like, oh, I'm the shit. But really she was just like super sweet and adorable, and I was probably just jealous of how good she was at roller derby. And then like she ended up posting a YouTube video of her skating, and that was like the second person I ever saw skating at the skate park. And I was like, what the hell? She's doing it too. And then we like started hanging out and becoming friends. And there were 2 other girls I skated with all the time. So it was kind of like the 4 of us were skating all the time and just like watching Instagram videos. And there was like probably less than like 30 people on Instagram like skating. So we would all, I felt like the whole community was like growing at the same time and like learning tricks together and like inventing new tricks and being like, look at this thing. And then everyone was trying it. So it was really fun back then because it just felt like you weren't in competition with anyone, and there weren't really like companies yet that were like, you know, like there just wasn't like a ton of sponsorships or anything. So you're just like, it was just purely for fun. And then just like quickly after that, then it was like CIB started making their team, Moxie started making their team. Moxie already had like their local team, but it wasn't like expanding yet until like maybe, I don't know, 2013 or so, something like that. But but yeah, so it was fun to like be a part of the early stages of that and to see like how organic everything started to form.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how that happened.
Was that like the same time frame where like the CIB Facebook thing was popping up, where like it was pretty much just like the
chapters
clear on this. Yeah, exactly. Where it was
Yeah.
just people like, hey, look at this video, and it was just
Yeah.
like everyone kind of figuring it out together.
Exactly. It was like it was before that they had like a brand where they were selling products. It was when
Right.
they had chapters, and the goal was to just spread roller skating, get as many people a part of it as possible, and to also like share tricks and share knowledge and get people together. So yeah, then it was like shortly after that they started selling products and made a team.
There's a ghost in Elizabeth's chair.
My chair is like super haunted and just keeps moving around without my will. And I'm
I
like,
like
according
that.
to a man at the skate park, I'm very sturdy, so there shouldn't be a
Did he
reason.
run into you?
No, I like me and you've met Lauren, right? Brad and Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah.
We were skating in like a little half pipe area together, and we like came like smacked into each other, and I like caught up, and this guy was like, "Oh, it's okay, you're really sturdy," and I was like, "What? What do you mean?"
What gave you that impression of me?
And then he like elaborated. He was like, "You just look like you can take hits," and I was like, "Thanks."
Thank you.
Yeah, like back to you. How did that like? What was it like being in that like vortex of things changing? Because I know that like when I started skating was already like a year past that.
I mean, like I said, it was like it felt more organic and like genuine because there wasn't a lot of competition. Like honestly, the only person that I felt like I was competing with at the time was probably Bambi before we became friends, because I was jealous of her. Like she was so good already. Like she's just naturally skilled at everything she does.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, when you see her skate, you're just like, okay, because you're just so good. But I like wanted to be as good as Bambi. So I remember that was like the only person that in my head I was like, I want to be as good as Bambi, and I would like practice and be like, Bambi can do this, I need to be able to do this. So like there just wasn't like, you know, but because now there's just like thousands of people and like so many different skill levels and different niches of skating, whereas at that time like there weren't street skaters and park skaters and jam, like I mean there's always been jam skaters, but like in that particular like niche of community there wasn't like all of those like broken up genres of skating yet.
Yeah.
So it was just like everyone was skating the same stuff and trying to do the same tricks, and now it's like everyone's trying to invent new tricks, and everyone's trying to like be the best at certain tricks or like do them on like crazier obstacles. But at that time it was just like, I don't know, it was just more like everyone was having fun and just, I don't know, along for the journey of wherever this was going to go. And we obviously had no idea it was going to end up where it's at now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But also, Bambi's my best friend for anyone who doesn't know. This sounds really bad to be like, I only wanted to be as good as Bambi.
So you know, I still hate Bambi.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Bitch.
And I think, like,
And she still pushes me today because when I skate with her, I'm like, God damn it, you're so good. And like, I want to do the tricks she could do, but not in like a competitive way, but more so like an inspirational way.
yeah,
I feel that. I think we feel that.
yeah, for sure. And like you and Bambi are both so good, like so good that I don't. Yeah, it's not a who's better. It's like, no, you're both just so good, and
we're totally different skaters now because we just like focus on different things. But I honestly don't think I would have been like I still don't feel like I'm super good, but I feel like I wouldn't be as good as I am if it wasn't for Bambi, because I felt like so many times I felt like I plateaued skating, and then I would just like have a really good session with Bambi, and I'd be like, okay, I'm feeling good again.
That's so
yeah, she taught me a lot, and she like, it's just fun when you have someone that you can skate with all the time, and you're like trying to learn tricks, and like you see them learn something new, and you're like, oh shit, I want to do that, and you're just like pushing each other. So I owe a lot to her for sure.
Oh, Bambi.
I know. I feel that. And I think that like that's I don't know, you can practice on your own as much as you want, but like even I feel this with Jay, even where I'm like, if I like, I'll try and go to the skate park alone sometimes and just be like, cool, I'm not doing any, like the plateau feeling of just like, cool, nothing's happening. But then like you go with like a good group of friends, or even just like a friend who pushes you, and you're like, okay, cool, I feel like juiced up pretty much.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Like sometimes I need like a solo session if I'm really in my head.
Yeah.
I just like need to skate by myself so I could just like not get distracted. But most of the time, if I am skating with friends, like they push me, and I normally like, I mean, Alyssa knows, but like I don't normally skate with girls very much, or like other quad skaters, especially in Illinois. And I recently started skating with like more quad skaters, and it's like I forget how much it influences your skating when you're skating with other people, even if they're like, you can have them at all different skill levels, but it's just like the camaraderie, and also just like people being hyped about your skating and knowing like what you're doing. Whereas like when I skate with skateboarders and inliners a lot, and they're just like, it's just different, like we do a lot of similar stuff, but they don't know exactly what I'm going through, because when they started, like when they were learning, it was like 20 years ago, and I started learning 8 years ago. So to like have people that are around you that like are also still learning, and they remember what the process is like, it like makes such a significant difference. Yeah,
Absolutely
important. 10 out of 10 recommend. Friends.
Yeah,
friends.
I feel that, especially like I'm around obviously a lot of inline skaters too. My boyfriend is an inline skater, and I mean, Greg, and like being with any of the dudes, the bladers are just like, I'm like, wow, you're amazing. Like my jaw drops watching you skate, but like you can't remember like learning how to grind even. Like it's such a far away thing to them.
Yeah.
And like watching newer roller skaters learn stuff makes me excited about my skating, because I'm like, okay, if I can be excited for this person about learning how to drop in, then why can't I be excited for myself when I like learn other things? Like I think that all three of us are pretty hard on ourselves when it comes to skating, where I'm like, I'm trash, I'm never gonna be good. And I know you're the same way, and Jay too. So it's just like, it's so nice to be reminded by like the encouragement we're able to provide to others around us, like, hey, maybe I should like give a little back to myself too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like I feel like I get inspiration a lot from inlining, so I love skating with inliners a lot. But it's like there's definitely a disconnect of like remembering the pain of trying to learn, like, because honestly, like even those who are super skilled at quad skating, that don't have a background in skating, like we're still doing the basics if you're putting it in terms of inline. Like they're way over there.
Yeah.
You can be like really good at doing front sides on rails, but like they're that's not even on their radar anymore. So it's just definitely a disc.
I was skating with Rob at, I don't know if you guys know
Rob
Rob
G.
G. Yeah. At Michelle's house, and he put on quads, and he was just like
Ripping.
fast sliding and backside and then fakie slides, and it was crazy what he was like transferring from blades onto skating. And then he stops and he looks at me and he goes, why do I notice a lot of roller skaters like do mostly stall tricks? And I'm like,
Because it's hard.
started, like there's
Oh,
there are steps to climb to, and unfortunately the first step to most of those things is knowing how to even just have your balance and like
yes.
being able to stand still in an obstacle.
Yes.
Yeah, like we're not 8-year-old boys learning to like rollerblade, and
Exactly.
we're going like starting out with fast slides. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny too. A lot of the people who follow me on Instagram, they're my friends that are bladers, and like I'll go to repost something that I think is so sick. Like yesterday, like the Hell on Quads group posted this like amazing,
So
amazing clip of like 5 different girls hitting this insane like bank to rail.
I
It
saw
was like
that.
the rail was like above knee height, and I was like, it'll take me another 50 years before I can do that. And I like was about to repost it and be like, imagine the whole crew being able to do this. And then as I was about to repost it, I was like, all of my inline friends or all my blader friends are gonna be like, yeah, the whole crew can. I'm sorry, but I can't jump above my ankles. It's just like physically impossible. And it's
Well,
so silly.
There's like a couple things.
What?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
you give it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, even handrails, like I look at you hitting handrails and I'm like, amazing.
I don't recall.
I don't
Okay, so
yeah, that's actually perfect.
Yes.
Perfect segue. Do you do that? Do you black out? Like, do you black out
when you do
approach
things?
a rail?
Yeah. Like that, that's why I'm like, I don't recall, because I felt like the last part I did, I just like wanted to skate handrails and I was like so focused on it, and that was my goal. And like then like when I finished my part, I didn't skate another down rail that was like even remotely tall, because I was like, well, I did it in my part, so I'm done. And now like I'm filming, like I'm still in the process of filming this other part, and I like it's not, I just had to accept. I was like, I'm not doing one this part, and that's gotta be okay, because I just haven't practiced it, because they're fucking scary. They're absolutely terrifying. And when I do it, yeah, I'm blacking out. It's like I have turned my brain off and I'm like, full send, do it. And then you do it and you're like, thank God, I'm done. That's it. And like, so to try to do it again is not like you just casually go up one and you're like, all right, here we go. It's like a process where you have to like, you got to be doing it consistently for it to like feel like you're confident to do it. And if you're not doing it consistently, then there's no way you're going to go to a handrail and just full send. So I'm just letting it go for this year, and maybe next year.
I'm not even thinking about ever doing a handrail, and it's making my palm sweat.
Oh God,
Terrifying.
that's like Greg tells me. Greg's always like, well, if you want to hit higher rails, then you have to do box jumps every day. And I'm like, that's simply not going to happen. Like, I'm sorry. Because Greg, my boyfriend, he can jump like shoulder height, and it's the most insane thing on this planet. And I'm like, how? And he's like, oh, you just do a lot of squats and jump every day. And I'm like, in this, like, no,
In this economy.
like, I don't get it. But yeah, actually, that makes me. I was thinking of I was, like I said, restocking your YouTube and rewatched Street Fighters, or we rewatched Street Fighters. Yeah, and I was looking at your roof clip, and that one like also blows my mind, because the mental, like, it doesn't matter how high off the ground a roof is, like the mental barrier of rolling off a roof, like how there's a lot of your clips that I just look at them and I'm like, how? But I think there was a question about that.
About Street Fighters.
Yeah, Street Fighters.
Let's get into that a little bit.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
Okay. What do you want to know?
I want to know what inspired like the whole video. What was give us the nitty gritty of the beginnings of that.
The nitty
gritty.
Well, like I said, from hanging out with my skateboard friends and then making videos, that was like what put it in my head that I wanted to be a part of that, but I just didn't think there's ever gonna be an opportunity in my life that I would actually be able to. So as soon as I started skating at skate parks, I was like, I'm going to have a street part. Like, even though I was still just like rolling down a bank backwards and thinking that was the shit, I was like, I'm going to have a street part. And it's just because of them, really. And I would like watch skate videos with them all the time, like skateboard stuff. So I just really wanted to like be part of it. And it wasn't even just the skating, it was just like how all of our friends would get together and they would go to street spots and they'd all have fun with each other and they'd like make a whole day out of it. And it was just like, it was just like this group effort, and I really wanted to be part of that. So once, it took a lot of years, obviously, but like once I felt like I even had the ability to like put out something decent, and then I like built the connections with other people that were on the same vibe as me, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna pick like all the people that I think are really good and focus on street skating and ask them if they want to be a part of this. And every birdie every birdie said yeah. Everyone was stoked about it. So I reached out to Ragna, Travis, AJ, Bambi, and also Barbie, but Barbie was unable to participate because they had other obligations. But everyone was stoked about the idea. And so basically, since we all live in different places, I just told them, get your own filmers, like film a whole section's worth, because most of these people already knew what that was. Usually that's like 20 to 30 clips. And everyone did that. And like we set deadlines and we passed those deadlines like 8 times. And it just went on longer than it needed to be. But I'm glad that we finished it the right way instead of like rushing it. But yeah, so everyone had their own filmers, so they would just go out to street spots, get their clips, and then they'd send them to me and my editors. And we ended up being able to, because of our sponsor, Moxie, they were able to fund us going to Austin, Texas to all be together and skate together, which was like something I'll never forget doing because it was so much fun. Ragnar couldn't come because he's from Barcelona, but the rest of us were all there and we all skated together as a group, just like I saw my friends doing back in high school. So it was like, this is a dream come true. This is what I wanted to do.
Finally
yeah, it was super fun. And it was like, not like the skating was awesome, of course, and like you're all pushing each other, but like just being able to stay in an Airbnb together and then like go out and hang out together. And we would like go to a bar, not to drink, but just to like roll around in our skates in the bar and laugh at ourselves. So stuff like that is just like unforgettable memories. And we ended up meeting up with Ragna in Santa Monica at one point, so we were all together then, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, and then it took us like, I can't even, maybe a couple months to edit the whole thing, and I had 2 other editors, and it was supposed to be like something where we worked on it slowly over time and we would eventually figure it out, but it does not ever work out that way. And then it ended up being like 5 days in a row, like doing all-nighters or like being up till 4 a.m. trying to finish it, because I am a dum-dum and like announced the premiere dates and like had like premiere dates and locations all over the world. And I was like, yeah, it's totally going to be fine. It'll be done by then. And then I was like, we are not even close to being done. So we like, yeah, thank God for my other editors for hanging in there with me, because it was rough.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember when you asked me to send you clips and I asked Greg, I was like, Greg, can you film me? We have to get it to them by this day. And he was like, isn't that the video that's coming out like in a couple weeks? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because we also had a giant friends section, which is just like anyone and everyone that street skated and wanted to put in some clips. That was like one of the hardest parts to edit, because we had so much footage from so many different people, and like we had to throw so much footage away, which was really hard because we had to like keep the video to like a decent length. And that was definitely a rough time, because I was definitely like still communicating with people, and people were like still being like, is it too late to send you my footage? And I'd be like, well, the premiere is like tomorrow. So yeah, I've learned my lesson to like not put a rush on things and to not set dates until all the footage is complete and submitted and you're only left to like work on it and you have like a reasonable amount of time, because I definitely like underestimated this project. but it was a really good learning lesson for sure.
Next.
Jeez, I'm like, maybe we'll take some advice from Karli.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was
So-
surprised when you were like, Tuesday. I was like, Tuesday.
I think we probably have the same idea of like, let's put a date on it because
that we
then
do
my
it.
brain tells me to do it, and then the
Yeah.
night before we're like, oh my god, I'm fucking dead.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Both of us yesterday were like, yeah, like I think, am I allowed to say this on air? Both of us were high on something yesterday just to like try and alleviate the stress. Nothing too gnarly, just like anxiety meds and weed. But like both of us were like, oh no, it's happening.
Aw.
And then had the like amazing idea to spend all day pretty much skating.
Yeah, we ended up just skating for like 3 hours yesterday. So
That's what you gotta do.
yeah.
I think it helped.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
might have helped.
But okay, I wanted to ask, since we're talking about your part,
What?
you have another part coming.
Yeah.
Do we have a release date for that, or are you being like smart this time?
Give us a release date.
So let's talk dates.
We do have a release date, kind of.
Can you give us
Only because, okay, so this part was supposed to actually be Street Fighters. Well, let me back it up.
Okay.
All right, after Street Fighters came out, I already knew I wanted to do the next one to be an all women's video. So I reached out to people I want to be in that video, and I'm not giving anything away yet because the video is still going to happen. But then the pandemic happened, and I was like, there's no way that we're gonna, like, I wanted us to all be together, and I want to do it that way because I think you just get so much good content out of like just the journey, and not just like, here's this person and their clips and this person there. Like, I just love being able to see like the vibe and the personality. So since I knew we wouldn't be able to get together, I was like, okay, that's getting postponed. Street Fighters 2 is also going to be a thing. But I want that one to come after the women's video. So that one has no date by any means, but it will happen. And so since I couldn't do either of those, I decided to do an individual part just for fun, I guess, even though street skating is not necessarily fun, but I just, I like to make videos. So I wanted to focus on something. And since I couldn't skate with other people, I decided to skate with myself.
Nice.
And my really good friend Yandriel, he's the one who's been filming for me. Yandy. Shout out to Yandy.
Shout out Yandy and his mom jeans.
Yeah, so I spent most of my summer and fall with him filming, but I've gotten hurt 3 times now from this part. So it was supposed to be like, I was gonna try to get it done in like 3 months, and then it turned into 6 months, and now we're like almost a year into it just because of my injuries. So that's been kind of a bummer. But I'm going on a road trip soon, so I realized like I have 24 clips right now, and my goal is 30. So I decided I'm gonna try to get 30 in before I leave for my trip in a few weeks, and whatever I get out of this few weeks is gonna be it. And then he's going to have a month to edit it. So I think it will be released end of April. Yeah.
Nice.
That's exciting. Also,
Break down the injuries. Yep. Yeah, give us some injury encyclopedia of Ghoulie.
yeah.
So, I mean, I've had lots of injuries, but for just this part alone, this one came out of the blue and completely unexpected. I was like just doing a simple ledge line. I was doing a fakie macchio, and then the next ledge I was doing a kind grind, and like I felt fine. Like I had upper back pain, which ended up being a displaced rib. I don't count that as an injury because it's just like a common thing that can happen when your muscles get really tight and it like pulls your ribs,
Pushes it out.
out of where they're supposed to be. So anyway, I was having like upper back pain, but I was like ignoring it because I was trying to skate, trying to get my clips. So anyway, I like went to jump one time after like I had been skating the same spot for like 20 or 30 tries, and then one time I like went to jump, and before my feet even left the ground, there was like a big pop in my low back, and like instantly like sent me to the ground.
No.
And Yandy thought I was like being dramatic or something. He like thought I pulled a muscle or something. He's like, "Get up, Karli, you're fine." I was like, "Nope, something's wrong. Like something's really wrong." And then like we were both on the floor because he was like trying to like help me like stretch it out or something. And then our friend Cedric was on the phone with his mom, And he's like looking at us like, what the hell? And he's like, what are you guys doing, stretching? And I was like, no, I'm hurt. And I was like really scared because I've never like had an injury like that before where like nothing happened. I just like went to jump and then all of a sudden like I couldn't move. And I didn't know if I just like herniated a disc or something. And yeah, I like spent the rest of the night because we kept filming because they were filming for their own parts. So I was like helping them film, like doing the second angles for everything. But I was like hunched over like this the whole time and like using my knees as like a support and just like holding the heavy ass like VX camera. Yeah, it was definitely super rough. And then I went to the chiropractor and they did x-rays and everything, and they weren't able to confirm exactly what it was or is because it's still a thing. So they're like, it could be a like slightly herniated disc, but they think that I like hyperextended one of my vertebrae and that like all my ligaments just like flared up and got pissed off from it. So yeah, there's been like no proper diagnosis, but when I started going to the chiropractor like 3 times a week, and I didn't skate for like 6 weeks, and it got way better. So it definitely helped, but it like has flare-ups here and there, and I'm having a flare-up as we speak. So it just like sucks to not know exactly what's going on. But I know like what I got to do to make it better. So, but that one sucked because it was like, it's your back, so you can't do anything. I couldn't like, I could literally the only thing I could do was ride a bike, but other than that, like walking hurt.
Just like, why are you trying?
Yeah.
Because I want to stay active.
With backflip.
And it was the summer too, and it was like the anniversary. It was so weird. Like I dislocated my shoulder and I broke my arm like almost 1 year apart from each other, and then I hurt my back almost on the same day. Like at the anniversary, it was so weird. But yeah, I hate when it happens in summer because you want to be active and you don't want to like take a break. So I was just riding my bike around. But yeah, so that one sucked because it took a long time and I couldn't skate. Like it wasn't one of those injuries where like you can put your arm in a cast and be like, I'm gonna skate anyway. It's like, no, I literally can't do shit. So
I still don't understand the arm in the cast skating because I feel like my body would naturally be like, but there's a cast on it.
Yeah. I feel like I don't recommend it.
Be like, just land on that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like when you're like, okay, you know when you like fall on the same spot on your hip all the time, and then like you're just so used to falling there, and then you're like, oh, I can't fall there, I have a hematoma, and then you're like, so let's fall there, and it just gets worse and worse. That's how I feel about people with cast or who like get cast clips. I'm just like, dude, I would break it all over again.
Yeah, I've done it twice now, and I don't recommend it because like my broken one, it didn't heal right, and it's probably fucked for life. Sorry, I keep swearing.
Okay.
Oh, I think we'll just like, I don't
beep
know.
it out.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just going to hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited.
Judges here.
I have like Satan symbols behind me.
We agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, hurt my back. That one took a long time to heal, and it sucked. And then probably only like a few weeks of me being back and like filming again, I sprained my ankle from 360ing down a stair set that I thought was way shorter than it was, and I underestimated, and I like landed on the last step, and so like my whole foot just like went like underneath me, and it was really bad because I thought it was broken because of like how bad it was, and then they did x-rays and it was fine, but it was like a bad enough sprain that it's still sprained. And like if I like toe drag, because you know like we toe drag a lot, if I toe drag with that foot, it's like really bad pain. So I've had to like change. I had a lot of tricks in mind that I wanted to do for the part, and I've kind of had to like change my direction because I just have to do things that avoids me like taking a heavy impact on it.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of tough. And I went to Vegas to try to finish my part and like immediately fell on my ankle. So I was like, sick. Okay, this is not meant to be. So if anything, filming this has been like, I don't know. It's just been like a lot of patience. Like it's teaching me to just like surrender and not be so like, I'm just so impatient. Like I want things to be done, and like I want to be like, I want to just put it out there and be done with it. And so when you like keep going through injury after injury, and like it just sets you back over and over again, it makes you like, first you're like, I should just quit. Like, why am I even doing this? Like, why me? And you feel bad for yourself. But then it's also like teaching me to be like, okay, there's no deadline. No one's telling you have to do this. Like, why don't you just let yourself heal and then come back to it and like do it right? So that's what I've been trying to do. It's just like, let it go. And like whatever expectations I had, just let them go.
Oh,
Definitely.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
In skating, life just always finds a way to really make you be patient, because I mean, you both already know I've broken my ankle and had like 2 surgeries on it, and like the whole reason that I broke my ankle is because I was trying to rush something, because I'm the same way where I'm like, I want this now, I want to do this now, I want this trick now. And that's when I was a much newer and more naive roller skater probably, and I didn't think I could get broken off. I thought that was just some everyone else thing, not me.
Yeah, right.
And then it happens and you're like, wow, this is really, and I don't want to speak for you, but maybe with filming it's the same way of like, I'm being tested, like how badly do I want this, like
100%.
how badly, like how much do I care about this?
Yes.
That's amazing,
it's
though.
like it's like a mix of like, I don't know, I always get so pissed because I'm like, why, like what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fucking skate. But then there's also like another part of me.
All the clips of you jumping like handrails, and it's like kind of that.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, you know, I feel like there are skaters out there that are way better than me and they've never gotten injured before. Or like I have inline friends and skateboard friends that have skated their whole lives and never gotten injured before, and they're super gnarly. So I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, is the universe telling me that skating is not for me and I should quit? But then there's another part of me that's like, the universe is trying to teach you a lesson. And like, maybe you just need to like take it easy for a little bit and like,
take it easy.
yeah, and stop being so hard on yourself. Because that's the worst part is like, I'm so hard on myself and I have such high expectations for myself. And then these injuries like remind you of like, it doesn't matter what your expectations are. The universe is going to put you in your place. So that's,
what if they, like, what do you feel like your takeaway is from your injuries? Like, what have you like really been taught by your injuries that nothing else could have taught you?
Definitely patience for sure, because I feel like when you hear something like you can't skate for 6 months, it sounds insane.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like the 6 months has gone by, and then you're like, whoa, like how did this happen? Like I went 6 months without skating and I survived. Yeah. And it was like, you know, it's just weird because I'm almost at this place now that when I do get re-injured, after I like cry about it and I'm really upset, it's almost like I know it's going to be fine because I've gone through it so many times now that it's like, you know, the first couple of times is terrifying and you're like, I can't even fathom. I remember the first time that I was like diagnosed with something when I dislocated my shoulder and they put it back in place. I thought like, I'm good to go, because that's what you see in movies is like pop it back in and you start fighting people again. Yeah. And like, when I go, yeah, exactly. I was like, let's go back to the skate park. And then when I went and saw an orthopedic surgeon, because the hospital told me to, and then they were like, you can't skate for 6 months. That was like, I cried in my car when I like left and got in my car. I just like cried about it because I was like, that's like unfathomable. Like I can't even understand how anyone does that. And I mean, that was just like an arm. I couldn't imagine like a leg where like, it's not just skating you're not doing a lot of stuff.
You're not walking. Yeah, it sucks so bad.
Yeah. But then you get through that time like so much faster than you think that you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wild though, because for a lot of, I guess, like us skating is like the thing you do when you don't want to do other things. Like it's like my therapy. You know?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine being injured like that and having to, I think my longest one was like 3 months.
Really? What was it?
I just like, I was like skating the beach path and I don't know why I decided to start mobbing it. You know, you're just like having a good time. It's a beautiful day. And it just had like an elote, like just had a corn not long before that. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And then I just started going so fast for no fucking reason, and I hit a crack. I fell directly on my kneecap. And then just like hobbled my way like up the stairs, because you know in Long Beach you have to like go up like the stairs,
40 fucking steep stairs, and you're like, okay.
You can't touch the handrails
because there's
covered
ants.
in ants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that when I was there
You
last time.
barely like you get your hand this close and you're like
So
Sorry, moving my camera.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that you can get through that, but it's like it forces you to find other things to do. So it's like all the things I always put stuff off all the time, and then like skating usually takes up any free time that I have. So when you are injured and you have to like occupy yourself with other stuff, you get a lot done.
Yeah, that's for
So-
sure.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Get a lot done. Never heard of her.
Who's she?
Yeah.
She sounds cute.
Yeah, no, I
Sounds
definitely can.
responsible.
Man, I dislocated my shoulder when I first started skating. That was my first injury from roller skating, and like I have
Me
fucked up
too.
shoulders. Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I feel like that's a common first one.
I think it's
Yeah, it's
like
weird. I
trying to
never thought that
grab
was
trying to
what?
grab yourself. You know,
It's
when
like
you fall.
Yeah, and you like stop yourself. That's like I was learning how to drop in, and I started skating in the time where like you guys were already good, but like you guys were like this otherworldly, like the Moxie and CIV people, they were all like so fucking good already, and then people like me were like, I just got these skates at a yard sale. Like so embarrassing. And like I remember I met like some of the original Moxie members, and I was like, hi, my name's Alyssa. And they were just like okay, that wasn't their exact reaction, but they were like too cool, and I was like,
I mean,
okay, I guess
it could have been some of them.
yeah, no, it
definitely is
wasn't you.
accurate.
Yeah, but there was in like living in Long Beach too, where like everything started with Moxie. I don't know, it's weird. I just be like, you're not from here. Why are you giving me attitude? Like, get out of Long Beach. But no,
Yeah.
I remember like I was like, okay, cool. So I can't ask these people how to do this. So I guess I just have to figure this out myself. And like there was a girl working at the skate park, and I was like, hey,
That's skate park.
Vans Huntington,
Vans.
the outdoor park. And I was like, hey, I saw you roller skating once. Do you know how to drop in? And she was like, yeah, you just like step in. And I was like, cool. And I like tried to just step into a concrete 5-foot half pipe and died. And all of these skateboarders were like, I like fell and I like dislocated my shoulder, hit my head. I had a helmet on, but I still got a concussion. I blacked out. And these like skateboard bros were all like, you want some help? And I was just like, no, I'm good. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm never skating again, because I did the same thing. I went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, you should probably stop skating. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna need another opinion. And then I ended up like learning how to drop in like 2 months later, but I didn't skate very much for those 2 months because I was like, I'm not supposed to. What do you mean? This is my arm. It doesn't even have to do with my skating.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
it did feel like a sign. Like I thought I was done skating forever, but then I ran into Michelle at Buffalo Exchange and I was like, whoa. But that's a different story.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, my story's like kind of similar, except it was inliners. I was at like an inline contest and I was skating this like half pipe with a spine. And I literally like just learned how to do 360s on the ramp like the day before. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm just gonna whip one out right now. And I just like whipped one out, not even warmed up or anything. And I just like landed on the ramp with my arm above my head. So it was like all my weight was just like bam.
Yeah. Oh, it
And
sucks so bad.
all the rollerbladers who like most of them are my friends, they just like sat up on the deck of the ramp and they're just like, you good? And I was like, no. And like they all just stood up there, and like Enzo was actually there. He was in town randomly.
That's so
And
random.
he was like, yeah, and he was like one of the only ones making sure I was okay. And he's like, I'm gonna go get my car. We're gonna go to the emergency room. And I was like,
Aw.
yes, perfect.
Yes.
And like all my rollerblade friends are like, you good? And I'm like, no. But yeah, I like tore my labrum and I fractured like my humeral head. So the first person I saw, they were like, you need surgery, you're not going to skate for a year. That's what they said was a year. And that's when I cried and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I went and saw a second opinion and they were like, it's possible you might need surgery at some point in your life, but people survive all the time with torn labrums and you just need to do a lot of physical therapy. And I did do that, but I think I didn't skate for like, I like flat ground skated, but I didn't like skate park skate for like, I think it was like 6 months, just because it was so bad. Like I had frozen shoulder, so like I couldn't raise my arm.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like if I fell on it, I would have like it would have been game over. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the worst. I felt like when I went to get my scans done, they're like, are you sure you only fell one time? And I was like, yeah, why? And they're like, because you have like a ton of micro tears in your muscles. And I was like, I was a pitcher in softball, like competitively for like 12 years. So they're like, did you ever have shoulder pain? I was like, yeah, I thought that was just normal though. And they're like, no, your shoulder is like fucked. You're gonna have to need surgery by the time you're like 35. And I was like, but not now, right? And they're like, well, and I was like, cool, bye.
Yeah, my
Gotta do
physical
PT.
therapists, they used to always say that. They'd be like, this is so common in pitchers. And I'm like, cool, I'm not a pitcher, I don't care.
Ain't never pitched day in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into what are your favorite things to see? Like what do you
Skating.
Yeah, skating wise, not just
I was like,
looking.
I like
I like
flowers.
to look at.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, what are you like inspired by? Who are you inspired by? What? Who? Where?
That's a great question.
How?
Obviously street skating is like what I am in love with. So I tend to like get kind of bored, I think, with like transition skating, like not just seeing it, but also doing it. Also because I'm not like awesome at it. So I get kind of bored with like the same 6 tricks that I know how to do. But yeah, like on Instagram, it's just like you see so much transition skating, and I'm not knocking it because some people are super good, and especially at like big bowls, because that is not my thing whatsoever. But I've just like gravitated towards street skating. So anyone who street skates, usually I'm into them, and I like to see what people do with that and like what kind of obstacles they skate. But definitely like inlining, like street skating inlining. Trying to think like who my biggest influences are. I don't know. I mean, like Bambi always. And then like my local friends, the Chicago Blade Boys.
Chicago Blade Boys. Shout out Lake Effect. Greg and I just watched it last weekend or the weekend before. It was really
Yeah.
He was like, oh, it's sick to see like a homies at it. And I was like, yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah, like all those people. Those are the people that inspire me the most because I know them, and it's like when you can see people skate in person, it's so much more inspiring than just on you know YouTube or whatever.
Absolutely.
I really love Black Bandit Media because their videos are so funny, and like their skating is good, but they're just super entertaining, and I strive to like eventually get more entertaining with my videos. I'm not there yet. I'm not like the funniest person, so I need like
wizards.
Alyssa to be a part of this.
Like all of the Black Bandit dudes, it's crazy to me because they're so good too.
They are.
Like they're very skilled, but they're also like just the funniest dudes on the planet. We went to the what was the last one they did? The spaghetti one. The
it's something Pasta La Vista or something.
We went to the Pasta La Vista premiere in Echo Park in LA when it first like came out, and it was just the most ridiculous thing to see all these like hipster LA girls who are just at this backyard premiere for a blading video, and they don't even know what the fuck they're looking at, and they're just like, oh wow, cool, whoa, ha ha ha, and I was like, you don't understand, this is hilarious, but they're so good too, like it's crazy. Yeah, I want to see a Black Bandit Media in roller skating. That would be.
I know, and I'm like, I want that to be me, but I'm just like not a naturally funny person, so I would be like forcing that to happen.
No, I think you're hilarious. I think because you don't realize you're funny, you're really
Exactly.
I'm not funny. I'm just awkward. There's a big difference.
And you have, I feel like there's like ingredients to being funny, and like a Midwest accent is definitely
a Midwest accent. Okay.
An ingredient. And
I got something going for me then.
Midwest accent.
Yeah, if I like lived, I don't know. I feel like maybe if I lived in California and I like had a group of friends I skated with all the time, it'd be way easier to have something like that because you just have like I know, Alyssa. But that, exactly though.
You can,
it's like
just live
you
in
can
California.
live in my studio with me.
Okay, I'm on my way. I'm literally gonna be on my way soon. So
the rest of this podcast is an empty.
Just shows up.
I'm like, all right, let's go, guys. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Please do. Oh my god.
Okay, so Black Bandit.
Oh, and
Right,
obviously mushroom blading.
Yeah, mushroom bling. Yeah, they're amazing.
But
What about
I
roller
don't know.
skaters?
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
they-
think of like specific roller skaters. Like Barbie's always been. All right, I'm gonna throw down some honesty right now. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
So I wanted to be like the first girl to put out a street part after Estro did.
Mm.
And when Barbie put out hers, I was like, no, because I wanted to be the next one. And then I wanted to be the first. I want to be the first girl to do a handrail, and then Barbie was, and I was like, so I like at first I was just so like envious, just like how I was with Bambi. I was so envious because I was like, I want to be this person, but then Barbie is her skill is definitely beyond me, and I've accepted that, and I'm okay with that. But like having Barbie in the community has been huge because there were not a lot of street skaters. And like I think Barbie's influence on the community pushed street skating a lot.
Yeah.
And so like I'm super grateful because of Barbie and like how many skaters she's influenced. And I don't feel like envious anymore because it's like I don't know, like I feel like she does like big bangers all the time and I'm like so stoked when I see them. And I'm just like, yes, like I'm so happy to see a girl doing it. And I don't care that it's not me. Like I'm just happy that a girl is doing it and that it's not just the men that are doing handrails and giant gaps. Like there are girls doing it. So it like definitely transitioned from at first me being like envious and now I'm just like so stoked that she exists and is like pushing street skating. And I mean there are other girls that are doing it too, like Maria from Argentina.
Maria
Right?
Roberta? That one?
Yeah.
We're gonna also do this like lame YouTube thing where like I'm gonna point up here and then there's gonna be these people that you talked about because we
Good.
also deep dove into like all of these people and Maria Revuelta is
incredible.
a shredder.
Incredible.
We have this theory that there's something in the water in Mexico and in South America because
seriously.
They're all
skaters
so
seriously. I do think it's like the influence too though because I feel like they're just like naturally like attracted to street skating.
Yeah.
And they're all so good at it. Like they're so good. And I don't know how they don't have more recognition than they do because they are better than a lot of like
yeah. I always think of that too. I'm like, why do I don't understand, like they're on the most fucked up setups on like hard wheels with like brick or like cobblestone roads, just like doing this insane shit, and all of them are so talented and so creative and so just like fearless. Well, I don't want to say blanket statements and say all of them, but like so many girls from South America.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you only have like 3,000 followers on the internet while there's people literally rolling backwards who have like hundreds of thousands of followers? And it just blows my mind. But I think that blows all of our minds.
I mean, yeah, it definitely does.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think like when you said that, like you're not upset at Barbie being out here pushing that. It's like I'm more upset at the backwards skating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely at this point I'm like, I don't care who's better than me as long as they're doing something fucking sick. But like,
and then be productive about it. Be productive about it.
Because I definitely like when I like my early years in skating, I just like I was never good at anything. Like I was never like, oh, I'm really good at this. So when I started getting like decent at skating, I think that's what drove me to be so envious of people was that like all of a sudden someone would just like show up out of nowhere and just be like so good. And I'm like, damn it, I'm still not like that good at this, you know? And like that's where it came from. But now that I'm like a bit more mature, I don't like feel that as strongly because it's just like, yeah, exactly what you're saying. There's so many influencers in skating now that I would much rather see people out there like doing really gnarly shit and whatever, like however good they are, than like not doing, you know, much of other things. So
I appreciate the fact that Barbie is at least selling a product that's going to help push the market as opposed to selling an image that's good. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much that you can do with like content. When like
that's true. That's a good point.
When
that's
we
really
need
good point.
like we need products
real
and
money.
hardware.
Yeah.
And we need longevity. So
Yeah.
that'll like segue us into what do you want to see? Like what are you excited to see within the next 5 years of skating in regards to hardware, in regards to
Everything.
like
Yeah.
the scene, where do you want to see it going, and then how do you think
The culture.
the culture,
The culture.
people.
That's what Miguel was telling us last week. And he was
Yeah.
like, you gotta work on the culture. And we're like, yes, Miguel.
It's like, you
Anything
gotta
you
get
say.
it from the
Yes.
root.
From the root. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a loaded question because I feel like I've thought about this a lot, but I mean, you guys know, and I'm sure most people listening to this will know, that there's been a big shift this past year in the culture.
Mhm.
And
Culture.
something that I have such a hard time with is like, I'm not bashing people that like to do the boardwalk skating and the skating backwards dance stuff. But I mean, to an extent, but it's like that should be completely separate from what we do. And like roller skating has been in this umbrella thing of it just being a lifestyle, that it's like roller skating is not a sport, or roller skating is not this or that, it's just a lifestyle. And like, yeah, in a way that's true, but like it's the same as skateboarding being a lifestyle. But you have street skating skateboarders, you have transition skateboarders, you have bull rider skateboarders, you have longboarders that do the like tricky stuff on the boardwalks, and nobody puts those people together. Like, you're not gonna film a street section with your buddy who rips the like vert ramp, you know, like it's just like it's so like separate in a way. I mean, like you're a skateboarder, but it's like they have their different genres, and I feel like people recognize them and actually acknowledge them as being their separate niches. But in roller skating, I feel like it's not seen that way still, because it's still pretty new, that everyone just like lumps us all together. And then it's like, I have like friends all the time that are like, well, why aren't you making videos like these, because these videos are going viral, which are like the backward skating ones. And I'm like, because that's not what I do. That would be like telling a skateboarder to get on a longboard and do like some tricky stuff because those videos are going viral. It's just like, it's not what I do, and it should be separated. So I would love to see, like, it sounds bad to say, like, I want to see more separation, but like, I just want to see more acknowledgement that like vert skaters are usually vert skaters, and like transition skaters are usually transition skaters, and then street, and like also when I feel like when I tell people like I street skate, they're picturing like I skate on the street, I'm skating on the street, instead of like I'm doing ledges and rails and stairs. So like eventually I'd like it to recognize as street skating, and then like maybe more so lifestyle skating would be more like cruising around skating, you know? And I that's just like what I think would help our industry and our community, because it feels like the right skaters aren't getting the right support. And it's like that, because we're just lumping everyone together into this one like thing, and it's not one thing.
I feel like it just feels really offensive for like, I mean, and like you said, like I don't want to shit on anyone at all, because like the more people on wheels, the better. Like the more people investing in themselves and their bodies and their happiness, and like this incredible like liberation that we've all felt from like roller skates. I don't want to make anyone like, I don't want to shame anyone for doing roller skating differently than me, but it's super insulting that people who like literally just started caring about this suddenly have like massive followings and support and resources, when there are people like all the girls in South America who have been ripping and like getting their asses kicked, and like they don't have the support and the resources that they deserve. So it's definitely, which comes back to like, well, I'm glad that just like with the Barbie having like a product that she sells, her skate, like money into the industry is a good thing no matter what. So that's good, I guess.
But I feel like, but then it's like when it, again, we're not shitting on backwards TikTok skaters. You can do whatever you want. But you don't, I mean, I guess nobody needs 5 pairs of skates, but it is frustrating to see companies flow skates to people that have access to these skates. Here we're just so privileged where we are in the United States. I feel like it's
absolutely, especially in the skate industry. I mean, like you have Kaya in other countries, but like most of the companies in America, you can't get them in South America.
Yeah.
And so it's like those girls are skating on the same pairs of skates for years, and they're like
Yeah.
falling.
Yeah, that's a question we have for one of our next guests, actually,
Yeah.
about to go into deeper detail of like how difficult it is to access gear.
It's
in South
definitely
America.
hard, and it's like, I don't know, like when I hear people saying like I want to get into roller skating because it's popular right now, so more people want to get into it, and they're like, I just want to do it for exercise. I'm like, hell yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Like I'm stoked for you. Or
Yeah.
people that are like, oh, and something we didn't talk about is like rink skating and jam skating. That's its own
Yeah.
genre too.
Oh my gosh,
And that's
yeah.
a huge genre that's getting lumped in with all these other genres. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's been around forever. And I feel
Yeah.
And
like
it's so, it requires such a different level of skill
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
we will
So much
ever
skill.
be able. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate
couldn't
seeing
agree.
like the boardwalk skating being lumped in with jam skaters that have been skating at the rink since they were 5 years old, So it's like that's the kind of stuff that I think muddies up the community sometimes,
for sure.
or like frustrates people when they're like, damn dude, like, and some of those people didn't have access to skates, like nobody gave a shit about their skating and they're super good, and then
Yeah.
like all of a sudden someone pops up 5 months ago and they're getting flowed skates by a company.
Definitely.
It's just tricky, but like you said, like money in the industry is good because it gives those companies more room to support more skaters.
Yeah.
So that's huge, but I would definitely like to see more like definition and recognition of all the genres, and like support should go in, like the right support should go into the right genres,
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm rambling on that. That one is a big
that's
topic.
yeah, it's a big topic. So it's no secret that you and I are co-workers. We work for Moxie
True.
Roller Skates. Shameless plug.
It might be a secret, I don't know.
So like how do you feel like your job like ties into that? Like what would you like to, you have a career in skating, which is difficult to do. Like we're not
Yeah.
going to get paid for, no, I'm not going to get paid for my roller skating, but like we still have jobs in the industry. So like how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like you're in the right spot at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel insanely blessed and guilty at the same time because, like, I don't get paid to skate either. And I always wanted a career in skating, but I just didn't think it was there. And because, like, this is where it's like money in the industry is good because it does support skaters in different ways. Like, we wouldn't have jobs if the industry didn't blow up.
We wouldn't have.
So, I mean, like, exactly. So it was kind of like right place, right time. I have a really good relationship with some of the girls who've been with the company forever. And yeah, it's like, that's the part of it that's like, this is really good for the industry. It's huge that it's gotten so popular. But then at the same time, I feel guilty because I have like, a complex where I feel like I don't deserve anything. So there's that part of me that's like, I don't deserve to be here. Like, I know there's other skaters that, could really use this opportunity, and like, but at the end of the day, like, I am one of those skaters and I have to like remind myself of that. But it's just hard to know that you're taking up space in the industry, and like you just want to make sure that you're doing right by having that space. And so that's like what I tried to do, is like I try my best to be the best that I can in what I do, because I want to like take this opportunity and like do everything that I can with it and do it the right way, because so many people would like absolutely love to be where I'm at. So I want to just like put in my best effort, and working with Michelle has been like amazing because you get to collaborate and you actually get to like make a difference possibly, and like make changes. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, anytime I have like a stressful day, I don't think there's a single day that I haven't like reminded myself like, you are so blessed, and then like I feel grateful. So no matter what happens in the day, I always end up feeling just like so grateful that I'm where I'm at.
That's so sweet.
I love that. Even after reading all those shit emails.
Oh my god.
People literally.
People are so mean. Like, okay, here's a shameless plug. Don't be fucking mean to customer service people.
Ever,
Whoever is
anywhere.
listening, don't.
Anywhere.
It's not worth it. Think about it first. What do you need to go to therapy?
Yeah.
Do you need to talk to your mom? What is it? Like, do
Well,
it.
and you
Amongst
never
all of
like,
us.
you don't know like what the behind the scenes is for any company. So like
Exactly.
the biggest misconception of Moxie is that we're this huge company with like
That
hundreds
cracks
of
me up.
people sitting behind a computer like, all day. Yeah.
Corporate conglomerate.
Oh my gosh,
The big man.
I remember Michelle had to pay me for something like 2 years ago maybe, and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you to our IT or HR person or IT person," and I was like, "Whoa, HR person!"
Whoa,
And they're like, "No, it's don't like it's just like." And it was like, no, it's just our friend who does this on the side. I was like, you made it sound so much more official. And then, like, when I was working with Moxie at the beginning of the pandemic, I was like, this is literally, exactly.
We're 5 people.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 3 of us that do customer service right now. So it's just like people, and it's not just us. It's like you, with any company, you have no idea what the backstage looks like of the company. And you could be like tearing into people thinking that they're sitting there all day ignoring your emails, but it's like, that's not usually the case. But yeah, I mean, Moxie's grown a lot this year, but people don't realize that all of the things that have grown within Moxie are huge for us. Like it's having an IT person was like huge. Having HR was huge. Like
shouts out IT Brian.
IT Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, so that's where we're gonna put the clip of him going.
We had lunch with him on his birthday.
Carly saw the video.
You saw the video. Like, thank you.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's so precious.
He is.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think of precious Brian when you're sending
when you're about to talk shit to a customer service person, even though IT Brian is not customer service, think of IT Brian going, thank you.
Sometimes he helps in customer service, so
he does everything. He's definitely a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades.
A Brian of all
trades. I think the whole roller skating industry as a whole has like gone through a lot of like growing pains this year.
Huge.
So even though, you know, there were some hiccups along the way, it's like, if you just got into skating this year, this is free. This message is for you. Most of these companies grew like tremendously this past year, and they were not where they were before. And you know, some companies are like still working out the kinks. So you gotta be patient with this growing industry because it might look huge to you, but you know, if you were around a year ago, it wasn't as huge as it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like a lot of like with Wicked too, it's literally 2 people doing everything for when it comes to like customer service stuff, if not one, like just one. So it's just like, I don't think people realize. And I think that maybe people assume that because roller skating has blown up so much that it is like Vans level corporate now, when it's like, no, it's still just like very small operations, very real people dealing with these issues like day in, day out.
Right. And like very real supply issues, like, it's not just roller skating, it's skateboarding, inlining, like all outdoor sports have like gone through such a shortage in supply.
People acting like the pandemic is like just some little thing that doesn't affect the economy has blown my mind this entire year.
I feel like people are acting like the real problem isn't the pandemic, it's the lack of things that they can get during the pandemic. Think about.
But I also think I think what makes it easy to not get so bothered by some of like the negative messages we receive is like, this has been a really hard year for everyone. And I think some people like they let it out in random ways sometimes. And I know that I've had like little blow ups this year where I'm like, what was that about? And it's like, no, we have to remind ourselves like this has impacted all of us greatly. And so yeah, I mean, it's easy, like it's easier for me to look at it that way and be like, this is a tough time for everyone. And I realize everyone just wants to get out there and like do a hobby, like do something that makes them happy. And like roller skating makes people feel good. And we want to get people roller skates as much as we can. So I definitely understand like the frustration, but you know.
Definitely. Well, I think our next question was.
Which one was it? That's all you. I don't know where we're at.
That is actually a good question. Good question. Where do you think, well, like, so given like the expansion that we're in and that we've been going through, or the industry has been going through and the community has been going through in the past year now, where do you think that we'll be headed in the next 5 years? Like, where do you see roller skating's future going?
That's a really great question. I think it could go 2 ways. I feel like it can continue maybe not continue to, I mean, like, yeah, continue to grow, but I think we might stay like around where we're at right now for like quite a long time. Or I think it could die down a little bit because, you know, like, I'm trying to think of something that might have been popular. Okay, inlining is a perfect example, and I'm so
That's what I
sorry.
was thinking. I was like,
I'm so sorry to use this, but like inlining was very popular, not just for like aggressive inliners, but for like, you know, cruising around, exercise. It was super popular. And then like everyone got into it and then they just kind of got over it. And then
yeah.
the industry sort of plummeted. I don't think that our industry is going to plummet. I really don't believe that. But I'm just, you know, like people could get into this. The ones that are doing it more so for like exercise and just for fun and just kind of get over it. That's very possible. But I think regardless, like there's a certain percentage of growth that we've experienced that's going to stay. So,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
let's say we had 100 roller skaters last year, which obviously is not true, but I'm just pretending. And then this year we have 3,000. I think maybe some people might give it up, but I think we'll end up with 500 in the long haul, you know? So it's like, it's still a growth that matters and will be really good for the industry, but it might die down a bit. That's kind of what I predict. I don't predict anything crazy to happen.
I think that
what could happen?
I think that like the growth we've seen the past year is the like crazy thing that nobody expected.
Yeah.
I literally never thought that was gonna happen. I remember people used to ask me like a few years ago what I thought was gonna happen with roller skating, and I was like, nothing. Like I think
it's gonna stay weird forever.
I was like it would just a bunch of weirdos like roller skating, and this is how it's gonna be. Like I literally did not think this was ever gonna happen.
Yeah, it's really weird because like even I started skating in 2017, or I started park skating in 2017, but even then it was like this weird fringe activity that was like the reason why I liked everyone in roller skating. Even if I didn't love them, I still respected them because it was just a bunch of people who were like kind of misfits for such a long time, it felt like. So I never expected
it to be like
you to be like to be trendy, and like to have basic like so many basic people interested in it now. It's like, what, you didn't give a shit about it 2 years ago, and like I've like it's just kind of, I don't know, it's good, but it's also weird where it's like I would have never expected this to happen. Like I thought I was gonna look like a clown my whole life, and I probably will, but in a different, like, not because of roller skating anymore,
because I'm here to entertain you.
It's weird to be a part of mainstream, right? To be a weirdo and you're part of mainstream. You're like,
wait, hold on. Yes, perfect segue.
Perfect segue.
What? Ghoulie the Clown. Tell us about Cirque.
Yes. Well, Cirque's not happening because of pandemic, but
tell us about your life as Ghoulie the Clown. We're over Ghoulie the skater.
Yeah, we hate skating now. We're all about clowning.
I'm all about clowns as well. So Ghoulie the Clown, what came up because when I played roller derby, my derby name was Gwen Ghoulie, which was a pun off of Spen Ghoulie, who is a horror host in Chicago or Berwyn, Illinois. So he like plays black and white movies, like horror movies, and he does goofy commentary over them, kind of like Elvira. Oh my God. So yeah, that was my derby name. And then when I started, I've worked at haunted houses since I was 18, but when I first got to like create my own character and actually be like a line entertainer, and if you didn't know, a line entertainer is like usually the acting position that like everyone wants to have.
Yeah.
Because you're like kind of like the face of the haunt before you go in. So when I first got my job as a line entertainer, I decided to be a clown, and I created my own character on roller skates. So then I was like, I'm Ghoulie the roller clown. Like, this is my thing now. So I did that for a couple of years, and that's how like the whole character got created. So I had nothing to do with circus at first. It was just all about haunted houses and me being a clown on roller skates. And then from the haunted house, actually, I started working for a company called Zombie Army Productions. Shout out, love them.
Up here.
Yeah. I met my friend Caleb, who was in the circus, and he just like randomly was like, we should try doing some partner acro stuff for our act, because he was also a clown. So we just like started messing around, and I was like, how do you know how to do all this? And he was like, oh, I'm in the circus. And I was like, what? So he introduced me to circus. There's like a local troupe that we have here, and I just like joined the circus that year because he told me to. So I started doing that. And I don't know. Yeah, it's like my like second life from skating, and it's weird not having it this year because of the pandemic. Like I feel like it's not a part of my identity anymore, but when it's happening, it's very much part of my identity, and it's like my life is split between roller skating and circus. So
Yeah.
So like two really
intense
wild, intense
activities. Yeah.
Which I knit. My other hobby is knitting.
You what?
I was like, my other hobby is knitting. There's no.
I honestly feel like circus is like very toned down from skating because like, you know, I fall like every time I skate, and I like usually scrape myself up or hurt myself somehow. And with circus, it's like it's like a much more controlled environment. So I just feel much safer, and I'm not like as like stressed out as when I'm trying to like do something gnarly on skate.
Do you feel like your conditioning for circ, like, I guess, what's the word, like enhances your performance on skates? Like when you're like in like peak circ performance mode, and then your body's just like a machine pretty much?
Yeah, I feel like it goes vice versa because I am like not afraid of anything in circus usually, which like if you were to ask like Karli pre-skating, I was afraid of everything. So skating's made me like pretty fearless when it comes to circus, because most of the time if you're like trying something new or you're doing something that's like has the potential for like high risk injury, so if you're like above a certain height, you're usually on a safety harness and you're attached to the ceiling. So I feel like if you're attached to the ceiling, like what is it? What is there to be afraid of? So I'm like willing to try anything. And then like once you start to like get better at something, then you can like you could do it, you know, free with no harness. And I'm usually not very afraid. But and then I feel like from circus, there's like so much balance involved in circus. And like that's all you're doing is like reconditioning balance over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That when I skate, I'm like less focused on like having the right muscle memory and the right balance to do things, because it's just like that's what you do constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
That's so cool though. That's so cool. We'll definitely have to put some of those clips in, because your cert clips are always amazing. Like I enjoy seeing them even more, maybe not more, but like just as much as skating, and I have like zero.
Yeah, I don't
like
understand
I don't
any of it.
I'm just like wow.
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 Cool.
Like I could literally talk for a bazillion hours, and I know that you could, and like we all could just talk about skating.
Especially if we're friends, I could be like
yeah, I know.
And then all of a sudden we can't post this because it's just like
10 hours long.
Yeah, it'll take you like 2 weeks to edit it.
Oh no. Well, we got one day, baby. We're gonna make it work.
Just raw. Put it up raw.
Pull those up. Yeah. Okay, so give us a real quick, what was your funniest fail? What was your scariest fail?
Ooh.
And then we're gonna
find it. Easy peasy. Scariest fail, hands down, was that clip that I posted recently of that giant gap.
No, was it the gap? The gap.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I hated that.
I also have that.
Hated watching that. Yeah.
It has like, I used to be really into gaps, and I felt like I wasn't afraid of them, and I was always just like hucking it. And ever since that moment in time, I was like, gaps are not my thing anymore. Nope.
Ooh,
so that one was really bad, and I don't know how I didn't get hurt. I literally was fine, but it like really, it shook me to like mentally, where I was like, that was fucked up. Like I could have gotten very much hurt. Why did I do that?
Died. Like when I watched that clip, I'm like, how did you not just ruin all of your body?
Yeah. And then it looked like, I don't know, like, you know, when you're going to do something that you feel like, I've got this.
Yeah.
And you go to do it, and as soon as you dismount from whatever, like the starting point, it's like that's when it goes wrong, and you know that you don't have this.
You're not in control.
I feel like from seeing that clip, as soon as you left your little takeoff point, I was like, oh my god, this was not. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, this was not right.
Well, if you play in slow motion, you can actually see I clip there's like a tire, like these wood pieces that you have to like jump over. And I clipped it. So like as soon as I felt my foot clip it, I was like, oh, here we go.
R.I.P. me.
This is not gonna go good. And I didn't post these, but I tried it I tried it one more time after that. And the exact same thing. Like literally the clips look the same. Like it looks like the same. I'll send them both to you, but they look like exactly the same.
Yeah.
So somehow I thought like I only failed that badly because I clipped it. So I was like, okay, if I do it again and I don't clip, I'll be good. I didn't clip and I still landed the exact same way, just because like that gap was significantly bigger than anything I ever tried ever.
Yeah.
So I don't know why in my mind I thought that was possible.
That's terrible.
So yeah, that one was the scariest for sure. And the funniest, I don't think I have like one instance that was funny, but like people that skate with me a lot know that I do this all the time, and it like is so embarrassing when I do it. But if I'm like really in my head about jumping onto something, like usually a rail or a ledge that's like kind of tall, I always do this thing where like I skate up to it really confident and it looks like I'm gonna do it, and like I like squat down to jump, but then my whole body just goes like I just like jump in the air and like don't actually do anything.
I feel like attacked by that.
Yeah.
I do that too.
All the time, and then I just
so
like, sit down
bad.
and I'm like, God damn it.
There's just
And then I
clips
feel
of
like
Julie just
yeah. I feel like anyone that sees it too, I'm just like, I'm so embarrassed right now. I just hate when that happens because it's like I would rather try it and then like fall down because I tried than just to like completely bail and jump straight in the air like an idiot for no reason at all.
like
Yeah.
unidentified flying bully. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I love it.
I know. Well, man,
I feel like we've got enough information to become you now.
I have stolen your identity. Thanks.
This wasn't a podcast. This was a long
wasn't a
con.
podcast.
I have some medical bills that need to be paid, so if you're gonna take my identity.
My identity.
Oh my god. Okay, but that side note, that was another thing that people do not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you're young, I feel like a lot of newer skaters are pretty young and they probably still like are under their parents' insurance or something. But I have medical bills still from my injuries, and I'm like, this is why I can't just throw myself off things because I'm too poor for this.
It's definitely humbling in like I mean, you get humbled where you're like, okay, I can't do anything for sure. But also it's like you have to take calculated risks after you get hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just like a free for all anymore. Because I was on my parents' insurance. Like my mom had worked at a really good company with really good insurance. And then when I aged out, I was like, this just became very real. Like,
yes.
Very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that too. Oh.
Yeah. It sucks. You know, welcome to America.
Oh my, right. Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that. That's a whole other podcast.
I know.
We're not even going to touch
on. Go on forever about that.
Not even just podcast episode. But I think that, I mean, do you have anything that we've missed?
Give us your shameless plugs.
Yeah, shameless plugs. What do you, okay.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. Couple things.
Yes.
So there's a company that I started that I haven't launched yet. This is mostly Bambi's fault, by the way. So Bambi, if you watch this, this is your fault. No, Bambi is doing some, I don't want to say friend work for me and creating the logo. But I started a wax company a while ago. I'm just waiting to launch it, but I'm super excited to do that because I feel like that'll kind of help boost the whole street skating thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
I've been using your wax, by the way. And to anyone who hasn't seen it, it's the cutest wax you're going to see in your life. And it works very well.
And it smells really good. My dog tries to eat
really
it.
Good too. And it's just so cute. I'm like, oh, I used a different wax I had because I like didn't want to ruin it because it was so cute and so detailed that I was like, but it's so precious. Alyssa, use the damn wax. That's what it's.
I know. I gave it to you for feedback.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's so cute. Yeah. Disclaimer. My dog tries to eat it, so it's possible that your dog might try to eat it if you have a dog.
Like, it's delicious.
Yeah, I think it's the smell because it smells like Fruity Pebbles, and she like constantly is trying to get my wax. But anyway, so eventually I'm going to announce the launch of that. So I'm excited to do that. And then the other thing, I'm going on this road trip in April. But I'm going to film everyone that I get to skate with. So I'm going to try to make a street video. Nothing like crazy. It's not going to be like, you know, the other ones where there's like full sections or anything. It's just going to be like a montage of friends skating. So I'm going to just like do street clips with all my friends that I get to see along the way. So eventually that will get released at some point too. And if I see you, be in my video.
I would
big honor to stand in the background in your video.
Oh my
Amazing.
god. No, we'll all
It's like
skate
us,
together.
like-
We'll get good clips.
I'm so excited. Yay. Thank you so much for being the first guest on the
Thank
first
you
Gr8
for
Guest.
inviting me to be the first. I feel so honored.
Pop in our
We do-
podcast
it feels-
cherry.
we have to add this. We watched the Britney Spears documentary episode.
I texted you about it, Ghoulie.
And every time they would talk to Britney and she was
She's like,
young.
Thanks so much.
And-
Actually, I love that. Like you look and talk just like her when she was young. It's so funny.
Yeah, when she was in like her prime. Like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna put that on
As
right
you
now.
are in your prime. Yes.
Oh, thank you. When I was younger, I got it all the time.
Really? Did you like it or did you hate it?
At the time, I hated it because I was like kind of a tomboy a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, I was definitely
Ah.
I was like a girly girl, but like I didn't want to be seen as a
Yeah.
girly girl. I wanted to
Yeah.
be a tomboy.
I'm a tough boy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not Britney Spears, but I was like 12. I don't know.
Oh
I
my
hate
gosh.
pink and I'm not Britney Spears.
Meanwhile, my like chubby little baby
like-
me was like, my loneliness. And you like look like perfect Britney Spears, and I'm just
I was too proud.
Well, thank you. It is just funny when adults say it to me now, or like if I get a haircut and I like am fresh from my haircut and I go to the store, there's always someone that's like, has anyone ever told you? And I'm like, here we fucking go.
You should finish the sentence for them.
yeah. Did
Then
I
I
look like
look like
Britney
Britney Spears.
Spears?
Yeah. I get
I always know what they're gonna say when they like start to say, and I don't know what it is about when I get a haircut. I think it's just like when you get a blowout and your hair's all like,
it. Yeah.
it like really adds to the Britney Spears look, I guess.
Imagine.
We're fans.
Yeah, imagine them being like, hasn't anyone ever told you? And you finish the sentence, you're like, did I look like Britney Spears? They're like, no, you have boogers coming out of your nose.
Out of your nose right now.
You're like, oh.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Never
Sorry.
mind. Brittany has boogers too. But all right, we're not gonna keep you too long. Again, thank you so much for being here. It means so
you.
much. And we'll definitely be looking out for the
Wow.
announcement for the wax company, as well as your part coming out at the end of April, right?
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that by the end of our conversation. Yeah, I'll definitely announce that one. And I put like so much into that, so I hope you
I'm
watch
so
it. 'Cause
excited.
No, we will.
this one
Oh.
means a lot.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I
Yeah.
know you're going to. I meant like everyone else.
The listeners.
Oh, you.
Oh, you know
The
that
collective
we're
listeners.
already.
I put
We're
a lot of
here to-
myself into this part, so please
Oh
watch
yeah.
it.
No, we're consumers.
Absolutely, we're
definitely
completely
here.
going to consume your videos. But yeah, all right, sweet. Well, I love you. I'm so happy you were here, and
Love
I can't
you
wait to
all.
see everything.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank
Karli.
you for roller skating.
Thank you.
Oh, that's our
roller
sign off, I
skating.
guess. Yeah. And thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Ghoulie. Bye, Carl. I love you. Have a good night.
Have a wonderful
Bye, you too.
Now.
Ta-ta. How do I?
Ta-ta. I'll see you later. I must retire to my parlor.
Definitely looks like it. Oh my gosh. Good
Bye,
news.
Queen.
Bye.